Hello folks, I'm going to show you a little bit of Custer, South Dakota. I apologize for the shaky presentation because I did not bring my stabilizer for my phone, because actually I brought my DJ Osmo Pocket. I planned to shoot on it, but it just so happens that I left home without it this morning. So you're just going to get some wobble in my phone, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper than flying up here, I can tell you that. And probably safer too. But I couldn't pass up the opportunity, since I was downtown this morning, to pick up a few things that we failed to bring with us. And I'm so impressed by the vehicles and all the things that I see down here that I just had to give you this little opportunity to see it cheaply yourself. It's really interesting, and I hope to be able to come back and walk downtown, perhaps on our way back out of South Dakota, but we'll see. Look at all the horns. They must have more deer here than any place I've seen. They come up, they're like pets. Come up and eat around the RV park there, where people are just everywhere. But some interesting sights to be seen. I'll try not to get a ticket for doing this. I noticed that the cops are out today. Probably out every day here in this little tourist town. This is what I would call Main Street. People just jaywalk all over the place here, oblivious to any traffic rules or regulations. And between them and the damn wild animals on the road, you have to be careful when you're driving up here, just as a note for those of you who might be thinking about coming up here, because it is pretty wild, no pun intended. Beautiful little golf course up here I saw this morning earlier. Got a little brewery here, craft beer brewery. Mount Rushmore is what it's called if you see it in your neighborhood. But that is pretty much the essence of downtown. There is a couple of back roads here that I've had the pleasure of driving that are really quite interesting. Just don't know the town well enough to remember the ones I saw, or how to get back there to them. They've got this one hotel here, in case you're interested. They've got several hotels, actually, if you want to call them that. Motels is what I'd call them. But there's a Best Western here, as you can see there on the left. Looks pretty nice and pretty new, but the one I would choose, I think, if I were staying in a hotel, would be the Comfort Inn. And that is the Comfort Inn. It looks like a newer place. The Holiday Inn over there looks quite nice too, actually. Now that I actually look at it, the Holiday Inn. And it's an Express, Holiday Inn Express and Suites. Gonna be here a few days, might be worth your money. Especially if you're planning on eating anything at home. when I'm on vacation, I do my very best to eat nothing at home except fruit, occasionally some cereal, maybe some snacks, but that's why I go on vacations, so I don't have to deal with all that domestic shit that I normally deal with every day. That is the golf course, and it looks rather appealing. I did not bring my clubs, and I do not know if you can get club rentals there, but it's a pretty good spot. I'm tempted, and I may try that depending on how much time I have when we're coming back through here on the way out. But it's kind of a typical little hilly course with a lot of side hill lies, a lot of uphill, downhill holes, and beautiful, beautiful greens, I'm telling you. So surprised to see them here, given the winters they have here. They overseeded, as you can see, and it's really a spectacular little place, and I'm going to find out. I'll post it on another video whether you can play golf there or not. But it's really quite beautiful up here. And if you find yourself somewhere in this neck of the woods for any reason, I would recommend you come over to Custer and visit. God knows I never found myself in this neck of the woods in 40-something years of business travel. But it's possible that you will. But I brought my wife up here so she could see what she believes she knows as Indians, which I'm sure that once we go out to Pine Ridge a little later today, she's going to be very surprised that it's not the same as television. Not the same as television Indians. But actually, I spent a lot of time in Arizona and spent a lot of time on the Indian reservations. And I'm personally delighted to go over and spend some time on the res. And then I think tomorrow, the next day, we'll be up in Montana, and I intend to go on the res up there also, because it's different tribes of Indians that, you know, I had the pleasure of spending quite a bit of time with down in Arizona. As a matter of fact, I got a friend up there who is an Apache, and he married a Cherokee, and they live up there, and I'm going to stop by and visit with them, you know, if possible. I know they've got a checkpoint on the res up there, and I don't know, I'm not sure I'll be able to get on, but if not, I'll probably have them come down to town and hang out with them for a while. Haven't seen them in a little while. Last time I was in Colorado, I don't know, 6 months ago or whatever. So it'll be good to see them, and I think we're gonna get a chance to spend some time in Arizona together later this year, later this winter, perhaps over the holidays, hopefully. Beautiful rock formations here. They're actually quite common up here, but these are particularly beautiful, given that the sun's shining on the face of them this morning, the morning sun. Trading post. I know I'm moving the camera. I'm panning fast, but I apologize. I'm driving and by myself today, and trying to give you a little bit of a video of this area. Hopefully I will get some more stable shots down here as we go off on the side street momentarily down here. The one I think I know, hope I know. that I was on earlier today. Traffic up here is not as bad as I thought it would be. It's today is Friday before the weekend, so it may be more traffic up here this weekend, but it's Labor Day weekend, so you would expect there's going to be quite a bit. Actually, this is the last weekend of the season, so after this weekend, people will be departing the area in droves. Fortunately, I'm headed west and north. Cute little ice cream place, restaurant place. I'm headed north and west, or west and north, and so I won't be partaking of the weekend traffic here. Plan on leaving fairly early tomorrow. So one of the side streets that I do remember. And I don't know, you just have to use your imagination of what it would be like on these hills in the wintertime with a rear wheel drive vehicle. Sure, it'd be interesting, to say the least. I see a lot of four-wheel drives or all-wheel drive vehicles up here, and completely understandable why. Personally, if I lived up here, I've got a Tahoe, and I really love my Tahoe, but I think if I lived up here, I would have a four-wheel drive pickup, just because of the utility of it and the fact that, you know, life up here is quite a bit different than it is down in the ever manicured Florida area where I live now. If I could ever talk my wife into it, I would be in Tennessee or Wyoming or both. It'd be great if I could spend the summers in Tennessee and the winters in Wyoming. I mean, the summers in Wyoming and the winters in Tennessee. But I don't know, you know, not all dreams come true. Be careful who you marry, especially what their flexibility is. Matter of fact, it wouldn't be a bad idea to interview your lady that you're considering matrimony with, to find out just exactly how she views life and adventure and all the other aspects of compatibility. You know, if you got a fairly good clue about who you are, it'd probably be a good idea to find out if you can find somebody compatible with your interests, because take my word for it, it's a little too fucking late once you get married. Compatibility seems to be on the bottom of the list. Well, that's interesting. Some old tractors there. My goodness. Some really old ones there, along with that building. I could spend some time over there as an old farm boy. That brings back a lot of memories, I'm sure. Because when I was a kid, I spent some time on tractors. That all ended when I started playing basketball in high school, and it took me far away from all of that farm life, but I still view it fondly. I doubt that there is a better place to raise a kid, young man especially, than on the farm, at least up through your teenage years. Once I got involved with sports, you know, it kind of took my attention away from the farm, and it's remained away. Ouch. Wow, that must have been an interesting little jiggle for the phone. It must have been, I mean, some baby deer. They're so young, they just lost their spots. And this is right here in town now. I mean, literally right here in town. One street off of Main Street. But, shit, I don't know. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Once you move away from the farm, very few people ever go back. You know, fortunately, I've had the opportunity to own farms over the years and not have to do the work myself, of course. And that kind of keeps you in touch with it. Not in the same way, because you can never go back in time. You can never go back to your youth, you know, when you had fewer distractions in life, so to speak. But it's always good. I always enjoy going out and visiting, you know, places like this in the country in general, especially Tennessee and Wyoming, probably my two favorite states in the whole country. I love the diversity of it. I love the, you know, the differences between the two. But I don't get to spend nearly enough time in either one of them. There's a place for sale right there. God, it's built right into the mountain, that place is. I mean, the whole left side of the house, as you face it, and the back of the house are against a mountain, a big rock, big hill, I guess you could say, big hill mountain, big hill, solid freaking rock. Got to be one of the safest places in the world. My God, I would think that place would survive a nuclear weapon if it wasn't literally on top of it. All right, I think that's pretty much it. At least that's the only part I know of. I see other streets that might be interesting, but don't know if this video may be too long already. I guess it depends on how interested you are. That's a pretty colorful, patriotic buffalo right there. A lot of motorcycles up here. I don't think I really get it since this weather is not all that conducive. Maybe in the summertime. But damn, it's pretty chilly this morning, I'm telling you. I saw some of the bikers out this morning when I went out for coffee, wearing big ass jackets and caps and shit. I don't think I love biking that much. I never did it when I was young. I owned bikes many years, but I never felt inclined to torture myself on them with those long ass rides and inclement weather. I had no interest in that shit. It's beautiful weather. When I lived down in Arizona, I would ride up north into the mountains and love riding the mountain roads, of course. But never felt inclined to ride them in snow, rain, and sleet, and all the other conditions that I've seen people riding them in over the years. A place called Calamity Jane over there. A lot of historical references here. I'm sure a lot of history, period. Because let's face it, this goes back to the American frontier, and a lot of interesting stuff happened over here in that era. I wish I'd brought my stabilizer. This is a rental car, so needless to say, I don't have my holder. I don't actually. Takes quite a bit of my time and attention just to figure out all the buttons and gadgets and shit on this car. Thank God I can see the gas gauge, but this thing has got all kind of gadgets and buttons and things on it. I think that's a pretty cool name for that bank. But as you can see, this is it's an area here that the town is relatively small, and the homes, the residential areas, come up right to the city streets. And I think I'm going to end this video here because I don't really know the town well enough to go many more interesting places. I will give you one final shot of residential area here that's literally butted up against the town. Again, some more of these hills that must be interesting in the winter. Kind of overlooking Main Street down there. Homes up here, at least in the area that I've been in, appear to be small, somewhat dilapidated, but I guess that's to be expected given the winters they have here. I mean, you see this quite common in areas where winters are bad. I mean, even in pretty good cities, you know, I was up in Pittsburgh a couple of years ago, and I didn't do any filming up there, but was amazed at how ratty some parts of town are. And the only thing I can attribute it to is the winters, because actually the price of the damn homes were pretty expensive. The ones in Pittsburgh I'm talking about. But you know, I think really harsh winters just require homes to have a lot of maintenance, and apparently a lot of the areas a lot of the homes just don't get it, and as a result they're kind of ratty. But I love Pittsburgh, one of my favorite towns in America, and always will be, and I don't get up there nearly often enough. But you know, it's called reality. I doubt that any of us get to the places we want to go often enough. Anyway, thanks for riding along with me here in Custer, South Dakota this morning. This is a recreation open area, bike trail. You can see probably the bike trail there. It's really quite nice. I haven't seen anybody actually doing any outdoor activities now. I don't know if it's because the shoulder season is almost over with, or it's not because of the weather, that's for sure, because the weather is spectacular. Can't imagine better weather than we've had the 2 days that I've been here. But thanks for joining me. See you on the next video. If you feel like it, join me for future trips by subscribing, hitting that little bell. Thanks again, folks.